How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Old School Weekly Recap. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you will be first in line to get the latest Old School news with each upload. First off, we've got this week's game update. To help tackle odds staking and the real-world trading it funds, new limitations and a tax have been added to the Duel Arena. The new tax applies to the total amount staked. There are 3 different rates for the tax, applied depending on the amount staked. For stakes under 10 mil, the rate is 0.25%. For stakes between 10 and 100 mil, the rate is 0.5%, and for stakes over 100 mil, the rate is 1%. To allow for this tax to be implemented, you can now only stake platinum and coins. The Duel Arena interface has been reworked to account for this change, including some handy buttons to add your stake quickly. After a duel ends, the screen will not only show how much you have won or lost, it will also detail the amount that has been taxed. And the final change to the Duel Arena this week, the difference between the amount staked by each player in a duel cannot exceed 10,000 GP. Also in this week's update, Smite has now been reworked to prevent over-smiting. You can now only be smited for an amount up to your current hit points in a single tick. The special attack of the Ancient Mace will also be applied in addition to Smite when it is active. And that is all for the changes in this week's update. As always, you can find a link in the description to the full news post. Anyone with an iOS device has no doubt been eagerly awaiting news of an iOS release for OSRS Mobile. And in this week's news post, Jagex delivered. On Thursday the 30th of August, they will be launching a second and final closed iOS beta. The beta will be available for 10,000 users, with the sign-up form available from today, Friday, August 17th, until Monday, August 20th. For the full details, as well as details of the most recent changes made to mobile, be sure to check out the full news post. Last week, the Old School team released the final version of the Making Friends with My Arm blog. It clarified a number of details for the content, as well as detailing the poll questions which would be included. And as of today, that poll is now live in-game. You can find a link to the developer blog in the description, be sure to go and give it a read and then go and vote in-game. On Thursday evening this week, the Old School team released a blog detailing changes for the Autumn Deadman Final and Winter season. The blog announced that the Autumn Final will begin on Saturday the 8th of September and will conclude on Saturday the 15th. As usual, the winter season will be launched immediately after the conclusion of the final. There are quite a few proposed improvements discussed in the blog, but one stands out as a real game changer: the introduction of PvP armors in Deadman. This includes Morrigan's armor, throwing axes and javelins, Zuriel's robes and staff, the Statius armor and warhammer, as well as the Vesta's armor, spear and longsword. These are, of course, the iconic armors originally introduced into the game back in 2008. The exact stats that they will have in Deadman has not yet been announced, however the specifics of each weapon's special attack can be found in the blog. These items would be introduced via a new global wilderness drop table. Every NPC in the wilderness would have a chance to drop the gear, with the likelihood improving relative to the NPC's combat level. And the final note for Deadman, you can now buy tickets to go and enjoy the permadeath stage of the Autumn's Final live. You can find a link to both the blog and the page to purchase tickets in the description. And just before we get into the community spotlight, I'd like to remind you guys that the Twitch Prime promotion is still live and you have until September 19th to claim your free membership and purple skin. A link to a news post containing all of the relevant information and links can be found in the description. For this week's community spotlight, I would like to highlight a couple of RuneScape addicts who have taken their fandom to an extreme. First up, we have 13th Ghost on Reddit, whose bachelor party took on a RuneScape heavy theme. Props to whoever took the time to craft all of these capes and hats. I'm betting it was this guy. And to finish off the video, we have Berry, who takes their commitment to no XP waste very seriously. Here we can see Berry as a bridesmaid while sneakily chopping use. Nice. Anyway, that is all for this week's recap. If you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to drop a like on the video. This helps more people find the series and helps them stay in the loop with everything that is happening to Old School. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Friday.